Hello then Doomblers, and welcome to Doom Eternal, a game where the answer to everything is violence, and if that doesn't work, try more violence. Now I am a little itsy bitsy biased because this is one of my favorite games of all time, but since my opinions are the only correct ones, you will love it too. Now, in case you were born this instant, Doom is one of the first FPS games ever and can be considered the grandfather of the FPS genre. However, the new Doom games are slightly different than the old. I mean, look at that, the imp got scoliosis. The modern games drifted away from lol, lamao, cope and seethe gameplay, thankfully. Now the gameplay is more in the unmedicated ADHD zone. Now let's explain the gameplay so you can listen along while playing, because you better have bought it. First of all, the basics. You have 7 weapons and 2 panic buttons. The weapons all have 2 mods each, and now a quick fire round of them. You have the basic shotgun, which has a minigun upgrade and an actually useful upgrade. Then the assault rifle, which has goo goo gaga baby missiles and a flick machine sniper rifle. Then the plasma rifle, which has fuck you specifically beam and the heat blast. Then the rocket launcher has the completely pointless and the lock-on burst. Then the super shotgun, which has a grappling hook. As per usual, if you put a grappling hook in a game, it makes it 10 times better. And no other mod, but why would you not want a grappling hook? Are you insane? Then the ballista has okay and cool. Look, I'm sorry Ballista, I like your mods, but the only time I use you is when I'm quick switching, so I never use them. Then we have the minigun, which has 12 barrels, yeah! And a shield, or something. Still, I never use it. And finally the 2 or 3, kind of. Oh shit, oh fuck guns. The BFG 9000, which speaks for itself, and the Unmaker. They share the same slot, but the Unmaker is significantly less cool and only good at single target damage. Finally, we have the Crucible, aka big ass laser sword that insta-kills anything. Big guy got in your way? Slash him with the Crucible. Don't like how that guy is looking at you? Slash him with the Crucible. The wife wants a divorce? Slash her with the... I may have made a misjudgment. These are your basic tools, but you have more. The sexy suit you wear has gadgets of its own, like the grenades and the flamethrower, which play a key role in the resource game. Now in Doom Eternal, the core of the combat is managing the resources. Ammo, which you get by chainsawing enemies, health, which you get by killing them harder, and armor, which you get by setting them on fire. I guess Payday 2 was right. Setting yourself on fire does help with armor. The game does a really good job at forcing you to actually engage with those mechanics. But there are Wawas who did not like that. And first of all, how dare you have a different opinion than me? And second of all, I can't believe people who played less than 200 hours at a game are worse than me. Either way, the low amounts of ammo are only a problem if you don't switch weapons enough. You will know that you're switching enough when your fingers hurt from having to move around to press all the hotkeys so much. The last tools you have as a player are the obligatory dash and the replacement of Doom 2016's melee, the blood punch, which unlike melee, I actually use. The final thing that affects gameplay significantly are the enemies. They come in 3 levels. Ants to consume for resources, decent threats, and fuck you in particular threats that need dealing with ASAP. The main mechanic their enemies have are weak points, which can be destroyed to weaken them. The amount of weakening ranges from nuh-uh, fuck you, to crippling depression. Now, I won't go over every enemy, but I still have a bone to pick with... Oh, right, I obliterated them already. I will talk about one enemy which gets far too much hate. What? No, get out of here. The Marauder, the bane of the game reviewer. Now, I am a giant nerd, so of course, I watched all the videos about Doom Eternal I could, and this little bastard came up every time as the end-all challenge. Which, I mean, no. But he does force you to weapon switch effectively to maximize the damage you deal. Now, weapon switching is probably one of the most important things to learn. The idea is simple. Shoot and then switch weapons to avoid the wait in between shots of, say, the ballista or the super shotgun, letting you shoot them much faster than normal. every weapon has a precise time when it's best to do it, but I am not a nerd emoji, so I use the vibe system of when it feels like it's good. But enough gameplay, since you will be buying it, I think I explained it well enough. Now on to the story. Welcome to the 12-hour presentation on Doom lore, because even though the alien who created Doom famously said, story in a game is like story in a shonen. It's there, but it's not that important. Wait, that's not the quote? Oh, yeah, okay. I can't really say the real quote, because I live in fear of the algorithm, but you get the gist. Nowadays, though, Doom has a very long and complicated storyline, which is mostly explained through text dumps, which on one hand you can totally skip, but you will reach situations where the game expects you to know who the Throngler is, and if you didn't study, you will just have to deal with it. But thankfully you have me, a certified nerd, so I'm going to run you through the story and give you the context in a low attention span way. So the story starts, and the Doomslayer, or guy, for simplicity, I'm just going to call him John Doom, and John is about to commit a war crime. You see, John was once a friend of God 3.0 until God 3.0 had all his friends killed and him imprisoned for a bazillion years by these three nerds. Until he is awoken in Doom 2016 by an annoying ass robot, and after a bunch of shit that I can't be bothered to go into, the bastard, Sam, kicks him back into hell. When John makes his way back, he finds that the Earth is being invaded by demons for the third time. Spearheading this invasion is God 3.0 and the three nerds, which are creating the demons. So by using the plot hole coin to remove their protection, you got a lot of murdering to do, taking a cheeky collectible after the first kill. Speaking of which, this game has a ton of collectibles and secrets. Most of them are just basic upgrade currency, but there are also action figures and vinyls with music, as well as cheat codes. So after picking all of them up, John storms into a meeting holding all of his Funko Pops and tosses the Funko Sheldon to scare away the nerds with its sheer cringe power. Then God 3.0 appears and tells you, just let us kill all of humanity, be cool, stop being so cringe. So your friendly AI, just AI, yep, nothing more, Vega gets him out of there. But now the priests have gone into hiding. So John goes to their old planet to get a doohickey, where a dead king tells him, no, stop, you're doing something silly, you will have to kill God, just give up. Which of course John ignores because he is dead and you shouldn't respect ghosts. Then he goes swing by hell to pick up a quintillion A battery for this bad boy. It even comes with yet another lecture I didn't ask for. The betrayer tells me to stop being silly. My brother in Christ, you trusted demons to resurrect your son. How stupid can you be? For your information, he turned into this. He also gives John a knife just in case he comes across the heart of his son. So John gets out of there and finds the Hell Priest in the North Pole, where he has been hiding by disguising his demon-making factory as one of Santa's workshops. The first facility John visits only contains my son and an advertisement for the battle mode multiplayer. So John goes to the second facility where they make Doom Hunters. After a brief making-of documentary, and an even briefer unmaking-of documentary, John shoves the nerd into a locker after he tries to promise he will give John his lunch money, and then he leaves. Unfortunately, the doohickey can't find the third nerd because he was moved to a government safe house. So John goes on a side quest to destroy a giant portal that was created in Wait, that's over Italy. I told Jerry to pull the red lever, not the scarlet one. God damn it, let's fix this. Alright, now Vega thinks that the annoying robot could know where the third nerd is, so John goes over to his house, kills the guard tentacles, and then goes up to him. Wait, that's mine! Give me that! Stealing son of a bitch. You better be alive. Then the bane of the game reviewer, aka Marauder, comes in to tell John that he is based and red-pilled and John is not, and that he has to join his course to become a Sigma. Sigma these nuts in your mouth. Then John hooks Sam to the power of the satellite and he downloads himself into it. You better not look in my personal files, you bastard. He does tell us that the last nerd is in Sentinel Prime and that the only portal is under the surface of Mars. So John decides to use the best option. Bigger gun. Famous quote. Then John goes in, bullies some guards, ruins someone's relaxing holiday, and takes back the smaller BFG, which stands for Bean Firing Gun. So then John makes his way down to Mars using totally conventional means and arrives at Sentinel Prime. where he has a stroll down memory lane, like the time John arrived here from hell after being there for an unspecified amount of time, or the time he beat the shit out of some other people. God 3.0 even promises John's rabbit back if he stops being so good at kicking her ass. Of course, John doesn't stop and kicks the shit out of the guardian of the last nerd, and kills him as he says, "Nuh-uh, you can't kill me." God 3.0 is upset at John, but only sends like F-tier demons to kill him. However, she does stop paying the electricity bill, so John uses the crucible to power the ship with nice clean torture energy. Sam then informs John that God 3.0 is probably going to use the Icon of Sin, yeah, the son of this guy, to finish off the Earth, and the only way to permanently kill a Titan is to use a crucible. So John goes back to his old place to forge a new one, remembering on the way that cringe-ass loser that gave him all the power he has now. After dipping the base in lava, John acquires a kick-ass laser sword, and now he has to go to heaven to kick God's ass. And of course, the best way to get there is through the Tower of Babel energy plant, because the whole story hinges on the fact that God 3.0 and her people depend on Hell's energy to survive. So they give Hell tons of souls to torture for their energy in return for some of it. So of course, John makes his way up, breaking all the shit he can along the way, and then hops into the portal for heaven. Where, oh, would you look at that, the heart of the Icon of Sin. I have a knife with its name on it. This makes the Icon of Sin a bit mad, but does free the soul of the betrayer's son, which is good. But now heaven is filled with demons, which is meh. And the Icon of Sin is on Earth, which is really bad. So John makes his way to the portal terminals, where we discover that Vega is the father and Sam is the mom? Oh, father as in God 2.0. I will explain what that means in a sec. Then John goes to kill the shit out of God 3.0, which he does very easily because she is weak as shit. She says some boring stuff like blah blah blah, the whole universe is fucked now because of this, it's so Jover, you are a fool, the usual. And then the yellow ball in her chest blows up and heaven becomes super corrupted, and we hear the Dark Lord say no! Pause. Now this is the most important thing, and the reason for the whole God 2.0, God 3.0 shtick. Now that's because the Dark Lord is, for now, the original God. He created the father who created the Kun Maker. But then the makers and the father didn't really feel like sharing the secret to immortality, so they sealed the Dark Lord away. This pissed him off a bit, transforming his realm into hell. In the end, after a super epic anime battle, he and the father were both reduced to energy spheres. The father's consciousness was transferred to Vega. Got it? No? Whatever, trust me, it doesn't really matter that much either way. John now went to Earth, where Sam keeps bothering him about, ooh, you have to hurry up, until he kills the Icon of Sin. The end. Except for the DLC. Now after all of this, I refuse to talk details about the DLC, so I will give you the basic rundown. Sam is the Seraphim? Oh, yeah, it makes sense. They are both Doorcast losers. The first DLC is basically just fucking over Sam to resurrect the Dark Lord, because if the Dark Lord dies, all demons outside Hell die too. The second DLC is about the Doom Eternal endgame. Literally, they just remake the scene. Yeah, all it is just gathering allies and going to the Dark Lord's house to kick his ass, which you do. But plot twist, you are powered by the Dark Lord's energy, so killing him puts you into EPDP mode for, I don't know, whenever the next Doom game that isn't a prequel comes out. I would be remiss not to tell you about the intern, the best character of the DLCs. A silly goober that helps you along the way. And that is the whole story. Now back to my vacation. I can finally relax. What? Well, I guess I can relax in my ship too. Anyway, this game gets 10 stolen Game of the Year awards out of 10. I hope they didn't notice. Now subscribe and like the video. Otherwise, I will shrink your clothes every 3.4 months till you become a goblin.